hear me. Let me know if you can hear me, if there's any issues, you can hear the music. Oh, awesome, you can hear me. How are you, Erin? Hello, Valerie. Make sure you share the live. We have some amazing guests coming in. Hello, Tisha. How was everyone's Monday? How was everyone's weekend? Let me know. How was my weekend? My weekend was good. I had a kid at a children's fest on Sunday. It went really well. So I had fun with that. And you know, typical pan practice on a Friday night. So had that too. Yeah, it was a chill weekend. Hello, Colleen. Make sure you share the live. How was everyone's weekend? Let me know how it went. How was your Monday? What are your plans for the rest of the week? What's going on in your city? Hello. Make sure you share the live. We have a good conversation going on tonight. What are your weekday plans? What were you doing over the weekend? What did you do today? Just waiting for some more people to come on. I plan to watch you laughing so hard on last Saturday's show. You're planning to watch? Well,
this song have a tag. You guys like it? Enjoy it?
Saturday's show was good.
So this song have a little hook.
It was funny,
If you haven't
for
heard it,
sure.
right?
So for those that don't
I have a
know,
little single
I'm on a
section.
little
I want you
radio
guys to help
show
me with this, right?
here in
So the
Edmonton
melody goes,
called My Radio 580 AM, and we'll just say that last Saturday was interesting. You guys should take a look on Facebook.
You guys can help me? Let me hear it.
Tisha said, great weekend, thanks, relaxing evening. That is amazing.
Keep going.
Yes, this is apple juice that I'm drinking with ginger ale. Yes, I am in Alberta. I am in Edmonton. Is your sister in Edmonton? Because I probably met her, if anything. Or I probably know her. Edmonton is it's big, but it's small. So, if she's into Japan, I've probably crossed paths with her at some point. cold in the winter, come in the summer. Come in like August. We have a festival called Kerry West. So come at that time. It's usually warm. At night, wear a jacket. But during the day, it's hot. So come at that time. Message me and I'll let you know when it is next year. If you're in Toronto, just make the flight over here. Hello, Ricardo. How are you? It is the same weekend as Grenada. Winter, actually, we've been lucky the last few years. It didn't snow until, I know it was last year, it didn't snow until January. So we've been pretty lucky.
I took 2 things that I love.
We've been pretty lucky with winter here. What do you mean, who wants to be in Toronto? I want to be in Toronto. Well, if anything, you can come to Kerry Fest. That's in Calgary. That's the weekend after Grenada. So, you have some options. It's up to you. Oh, yeah, you're literally our neighbors. You're literally our neighbor. You're not far at all. Yeah, you should come take a visit. Not in the winter. Come in the spring, summer. I do a steel band showcase in July. I think this year it'd be on the 12th, I believe. I have to double check the dates of next year. So it's literally all the bands in Western Canada, just kind of showcasing their bands and stuff. So, and I usually bring steel panists from the States. Like last year I had Andre, I had Jimmy, I had Tracy Thornton. Next year, I don't want to tell you who I'm bringing just yet, but it's going to be a good one. So yeah, again, message me, let me know if you want to pass through. A lot of people like the event because it's the first of its kind in Western Canada, so yeah. Make sure you share the live, guys. Just waiting for some people to join us. If you want to come on and talk about your experience, Tisha, with because I know you went to a few panoramas. Actually, you went to a lot. So if you want to come on for a bit and talk about your experience and introduce yourself, if people don't know who you are, they're living under a rock. That's all I have to say. Hello, good evening, happy Monday. So I think we're gonna get started in a few more minutes. Thank you for following. You're not just for camera, that's okay. You can also turn your camera off if you just want to talk. That's up to you, but I understand. Next time, just message me. What I'm trying to do is I'm gonna go live maybe like every 2 weeks. So it's not every week, but every 2 weeks. Just an open discussion, just talk about the pan community, what's coming up, issues that are going on in the community, and yeah, just have fun. So Tisha, since you don't want to come on the live, which I understand, what was your best experience that you've had with all the panoramas that you've hit? Because I believe you're in Trinidad. I think you did Toronto, if I'm not mistaken. Notting Hill, New York, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah, what were your experiences like? What was your best panorama so far this year? Are you going to Miami? Are you going to Japan? That's any questions. Pick one and answer. It's up to you. How's everyone's Monday? I see some new faces. Welcome, welcome to All Things Pan. Yes, Japan. Japan Carnival. Oh, Tisha said she did Trinidad, St. Vincent, Grenada, NYC so far. Heading to Miami in a couple weeks. Nice. Love that. I was actually supposed to go to Miami, but didn't work out. So I'm making a whole bunch of plans for next year. I need to hit a lot of panoramas next year. That is my plan. So Greg, yes. Japan's panorama, I believe, is next weekend or this weekend? I cannot remember. I know it's coming up though. I'll be here, guys. Yes, we need to make like a trip. We need to make a group trip to Japan and make that happen for Panorama for sure. Make sure you share the live, guys. Literally just waiting for a few people that are supposed to be joining us. So we're just gonna hang out until they are ready. Until then, share the live. Let me know how your Monday was. I got your Japan hookup. Thank you, Greg. Appreciate it. I'll let you know when we're going. So I think we can kind of get started. I think we can. I hope we can. So all the new people online, hello, welcome to All Things Pan. I am your host, Danielle George, and we are sponsored by Pantastics 868. These are my personal sticks. I love them. They're also my dad's company. So he has everything from tenor sticks to bass sticks. If you live in North America, message me and I will get them to you. If you live anywhere else, make sure you message Pantastics 868. I have them pinned at the bottom of the screen to get your hookup. These are amazing. The rubbers, they won't break. So for those that are new, because I see a lot of new faces on here, this is a page where we talk to panists, tuners, arrangers, builders, pan enthusiasts about all things pan. But what I'm trying to do today, hello Michael, is this season I'm going to do a lot of open discussions because a lot of things is going on in the pan community that needs to be discussed. So I'm not going to go on every week like I normally do. I'm going to go on every 2 weeks. I went on 2 weeks ago and I had Jimmy, Ricardo, Rudu, Duvan, and I had Spencer on, just talking about Panorama, the last few panoramas that just happened. And yeah, it was a good conversation. And yeah, just waiting to see if this is working. Hopefully it works. But yeah, just trying to get someone on here. Just waiting. Hopefully it works. But yeah, if you missed last week, make sure you check it out. It's on my page, and it's also on YouTube under All Things Pan. Let's see. Let me do it this way. Hopefully that works. Hello, sir.
Hey, what's up? What's up?
Not much, you. For some reason, I can't see you. I don't know what's going on with Instagram, but we'll keep it going. It's okay.
Okay.
Hopefully,
But I can see you.
you can see me.
Yeah,
Okay. I hope
awesome.
everyone else can see you. Let me know, people that are watching. So, Andre,
What's up,
how are you?
buddy?
What are you up to? What's going on?
Ah,
So you traveling the
ah,
world.
yeah, yeah. Um, I'm all right, man. Finally getting a little break before Carnival in Trinidad starts. So, single pants starts back in October, so I get
Right.
a little break to um kind of reset the mind. But yeah, I have we finally finished our album, The Culture Effects. Entitled, well, the name of the album is called 40 Culture. So we finally finished that. We're looking to drop that within like the next week or so. So I'm very, very, very excited about that.
Nice.
Um,
So are you dropping it on like all streaming sites on YouTube? Like where can people
yeah,
find it?
everywhere. It's gonna be everywhere.
Awesome.
Um, all streaming platforms, YouTube, iTunes. It's also gonna be available for purchase on vinyl. We also have merchandise. So yeah, look out for it. And also, we're looking to do like a listening session as well online with some industry, uh some notable industry musicians or artists and stuff like that that we know personally within the group. So
Okay.
not just parent, not just like the parent community, like music
Mhm.
overall and just the arts. So looking forward to that.
That's so. When you can you send me like the link to your website for all the merchandise so people can buy it?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'll definitely do that as we finish here.
Okay, perfect. Because I want them. I know some people that would like to buy.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
So
Definitely, definitely. I think I'm super super excited about this project. Like I've done a lot of good things in my life, but this one here, I hold it like very
this is your
highly. I feel
baby.
like this is, yeah, this is, I feel like, I mean, I don't want to make it seem like I did it. It's like the fact that, I was able to create something like this with a group of gentlemen who I love dearly, you know what I mean? As like brothers, as like real brethren, like guys who I really consider, and we were able to write like amazing music to put out to the world, like just to showcase the culture in like our own unique way, right?
Right. So what can people, if you can give like a little teaser, what can people expect from this album without giving it away?
Yeah, it's full study cast. We be on percussion, Grammy award winning percussionist we be. So
Okay.
yeah, we have a lot of, and more surprises. I can't give away
Yeah.
everything.
Don't give her. No. Don't. We don't want to do that. Don't want to do that. Just a little teaser to get people excited for the album coming up.
Definitely,
Do you
definitely,
have a
definitely.
date yet, or you just kind of?
We don't have a solid date yet. I know the listening session is supposed to be around the second week in October. I can't remember the exact date right now. I think it's like the 15th or something like that. We're
Okay.
looking at the 15th
Okay.
of October. So
Okay.
yeah, very, 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 very soon we're looking to release this whole album. And we've been working on this album for about 4 years, and we finally got it right. Like it took a long time, but when you hear it, I think you're gonna be blown away. Like when I
Oh,
listen to it, I'm blown away, and I'm probably like my biggest critic. If anybody really, and I mean, if anybody really knows me,
yeah.
like I am very hard to please for myself. You know what I mean? So
I get
I'm very,
it.
very
I am the
excited.
same way. I get it. I get
Definitely,
it.
definitely.
So
Yeah, but
excited.
yeah, I've been traveling, as you said. I was in Alberta, Canada,
You were.
Edmonton. That was fun.
We're
Finally
gonna talk
reached,
about that. We're gonna talk about that.
finally reached, and I was in the UK. I was in Trinidad for a festival. I went all over actually. Touched certain parts of Europe. Um, uh, I'm getting ready to go to Guyana in about a week or so to do pan, brass, and steel.
Okay.
Um, a second year in a row with the same kind of group
Mm-hmm.
of gentlemen. Um, so yeah, looking forward to it. It's been a journey.
You literally have something every week.
Right, 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 right.
You
But it's a
literally
blessing.
do.
I don't like to complain, even though sometimes it feels like a lot. I don't like to
Mm-hmm.
complain because it's a blessing. You know what I mean? I can't take it for granted. I remember there were times when I wasn't doing anything at all. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, and there was times I felt like I wanted to give up like music on a whole. And the crazy thing
Yeah.
for me is I only know music from like the age of 6 years old. All I know is music and in any kind of form, whether it's pan, whether it's trombone, whether it's drum set. I only know
Mm-hmm.
music. I don't really know anything else. So
So you mentioned that there was a moment in time where you just wanted to like give up music altogether. For
yeah.
those that are in that moment, uh, how would what, how did you get past that point?
um so I'll tell you a funny story. So how it kind of all came about, like that period. Um It was like a transition period. For those who know, like my history within the parent community, I would have started off with a band in Long Island, New York, named Adlibs Orchestra. And at that time, I was transitioning from, I basically, was moving on from that organization to try to search for new things,
Mm-hmm.
new challenges. And I did London Panama that year, and I remember coming back like the second day when I came back, I went to the beach with friends of mine, and on my way coming back home, I got into a really bad car accident, like a
Um,
really like a three-car collision. Like my car was totaled completely,
mhm.
and but I came out, and I guess the anxiety and the blood pumping from the accident, they kind of you're not really paying attention if you really hurt or not. You feel like, okay, I have all my limbs, I could walk, I could
Yeah.
talk, I'm good to go.
Yeah.
And so fast forward now, like a week after that, I had a little residency again in Long Island at a restaurant slash bar that me and a couple of the brothers were playing at. And I remember on the gig, even starting the gig, it was like I wasn't feeling like myself, right? And
Right.
I couldn't understand, like, okay, I'm just feeling off. I'm not really feeling like I would normally feel behind the instrument. And
Right.
I remember it had like a few songs that they would call like Easy Bird, like we call them birdie songs, like Hot Hot Hot,
Yeah.
those kind of songs, right?
Yeah.
And I didn't know where to start. Like that was the scariest time of my life, like the complete scariest moment. Like I didn't
Yeah.
know where to begin. I didn't know, like I just was confused.
Right.
And I remember after the gig thinking like, yo, something's wrong, something's wrong. So I went to I went to see the chiropractor and a neurologist, um, and they couldn't see it. They didn't see anything for a while.
Hmm.
I knew I had a slight contusion in my neck, well, this herniated disc in my neck and my back from the accident, but it was nothing.
Right.
I was going to therapy, physical therapy, and dealing with that, and maybe about like three. Well, obviously during, like I said, during that time, I was getting so depressed because things wasn't just clicking for me how they would normally, and
Hmm.
I'll be totally transparent. I had at that time, I was a heavy smoker, and
Right.
I thought the smoking was contributing to it, so I stopped cold turkey, like
Wow.
like cold turkey, and I remember going through um like a heavy withdrawal, and then
Hmm.
with the withdrawal came like a serious depression, and for
Mm.
about, like I said, 6 to 8 months, I didn't touch my pan, no music, nothing at all. Like I was just like I'm fed up. Because at that time, like I said, I was in a transition. I had no bands in New York. I just did England, Panama. I wasn't arranging in Trinidad. That was like a dry spell. And then it was kind of in the beginning of my career as a soloist as well. So I wasn't really playing like that. I wasn't at the level at which I felt,
Right.
where I was getting the kind of opportunities I'm getting today. And
Hmm.
I was just like, yo, this is not working. Like I feel frustrated, and I was ready to give up. And then I found out that I had a slight contusion from the
Hmm.
accident. I had a concussion. Um, and in terms, well, back to your question of how did I get over it, I ended up working on my first album, and
Okay.
that project, being able to just completely be free of any kind of criticism, or like I didn't worry about whether people liked the music, whether they didn't like it. Like I just created, and for a long
Right.
time, I wasn't able to do that. I was just so focused on, you're in the panorama mode and you want to win and you want to compete at the highest level, and everybody's, the pressure's on you, especially at that time. I was young. I was probably like, phew, maybe. This is right after Desperados too, so I was like 22, 23. And
Okay.
so, you know, that pressure for like the past 3, 4 years was just like on me to deliver all the time. And
Mm-hmm.
and just being able to do that project, you know what I mean, and working with new people and working with like a lot of great musicians on the album and just being able to create that kind of like saved me, like brought me back to life. And like I also, that would have been the time where I worked with I just built a relationship with, then they were called Pantonic Sea Orchestra in
Right.
New York, right?
Yeah.
This is like post Bradley, and
Mm.
you know, the band was kind of like another transition period as well, but they had a bunch of youths. And I'll tell you a funny story about that as well. Those same youths, uh, a lot of them are the core and the senior members now of Peso.
Oh
So
wow.
I would have met them as like in their early teenagers, and now they're all like late 20s, 30 years old and stuff like that. Like, so,
Yeah. That's crazy.
yeah. But yeah, just, you know, creating, like, don't be so hard on yourself. Like, find that love in music. I think
Hmm.
that's the answer to your question.
Okay. I think I have to find it again.
Yeah, write something that means something to you.
Yeah.
I think too much we get caught into which is not a bad thing, trying to play for people
Yeah.
and make sure that the crowd is entertained and everybody's happy and you're trying to be everything for everybody else. But sometimes you gotta take a moment for yourself and really like write something that means something to you, that's authentic, that comes from your heart.
I may do that.
Yeah, definitely you should. I know you have the ability to do it too.
Oh, thank you. Spencer says conversations are real good, real things. Um, sorry, and good to know no one, none of us are alone in this. Big ups, bro, on sharing.
Nice. Who was that? I had not seen no questions. How come?
Oh, Sheldon from
Oh,
Miami. Not
nice.
Sheldon. Well, Spencer. Sorry,
Mm-hmm.
sorry, my bad. If anyone has any questions or comments, put it in the question bubble below because I've seen a lot go through and I'm missing them. So put them there so I don't miss them. You mentioned Alberta.
Right,
You were here. Do you want to
right.
let everyone know your experience while you're here? So he was here for the first annual because we're doing it next year. Western Steel Band showcase. We had all the steel bands from Alberta here showcasing their band, and I had Jimmy, I had Andre, I had Tracy, and it was just fun. I don't know if you want to let them know your experience. You can be honest. It's okay.
No, I had an amazing time, to be honest. It was definitely like a new experience. Um, as you guys mentioned, it's like the Texas of Canada, right? So it
Hmm.
was a lot of open land, and you know, it was just a vibe. It was just I remember getting there. What time did I get there? Then it probably like 8 something, and like it's
Yeah.
bright outside, sun hot. Yeah, I mean, I'm like, yo, what's going on here? You know what I mean? And we went and we reached the venue, we reached the place where we were practicing and everything, and it's like it's still sun out. Like, and that's like at 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. And I'm like, what is happening right now? So, but it was an amazing time. I had a great time hanging out with you guys and Jimmy and Tracy and that's everybody. It was like I met a lot of new friends and stuff like that. It was great. A great experience.
And you're gonna come next year?
Yeah, of course. Just want to invite me.
Okay.
Come on out.
Cool. So you heard that, everyone. He said he's coming next year.
Boss man,
You
where you
you
safe?
can't go back.
Everything nice?
Hello, Spencer. How are you?
Yes, what's going on, everybody? Good evening. First, I come on for two things. I will ask you, who's Sheldon?
Sorry, I
Who's
saw the name.
Sheldon?
I'm, I'm sorry. I saw the name
How
come up, and
you, how you
I
get my name wrong on
I'm so,
national Instagram TV? Vexin.
sorry. I'll
La.
make it up to you somehow.
Uh,
I'll bring you like some Alberta alcohol. I don't know.
but listen, but like I said, yo, good evening to everybody. Andre, good evening
Okay.
to you, sir.
Yes, sir.
And
Yes, sir.
may I tell you, I have to tell you right now, congratulations
Thank you,
on
sir.
winning the NY Panorama and over in London too,
Thank you.
bro.
Thank you. Appreciate that, bro.
Now for real,
Yeah,
I got and anybody who knows me, I'm a big supporter in giving people flowers when they here. It don't make no sense to give flowers when people gone,
definitely.
and when they here, give it to them. You
Mhm.
understand? So on, believe it or not, Andre, I've been following your journey for a long time, and bro, I have to say I'm proud of you now, because bro, you're doing amazing
Thank you,
things,
man.
and
Appreciate that.
the genius in your musicianship is bro, when I watch in Panama, I hold in my head, so I'm like, what this man, where this man come over with this boy? I
Thank you.
you have no idea how many times I had to rewind. I was like, what chord is he using there, boy?
Yeah, yeah,
Nah. I need to teach that.
thank
Not teach
you.
that. Go borrow. Go borrow. Go
Nah,
borrow.
man, listen,
But
nobody don't own anything, you know.
you're right.
This is to be shared to the world. And I mean, if you could take it and make it sound better, that's the most important thing. You know.
Hey, you're not wrong. You're not wrong in that,
Yeah,
bro. But
take it and as long as you don't take it and waste it.
I can't do that. I can't do that, boy. But also that story you shared, like, bro, that's some real thing I did, because I came on here because I actually went through a similar thing,
Right,
because you were talking about how you had the accidents and all kind of
right,
thing. Like,
right.
this was probably maybe 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I think 2 years ago for me, and everything changed when I got into my first accident. And bro, it's when it's like I said, you're not none of us are alone in this, boy. And I put down my pan for years. Years. I was mainly just
Yeah,
doing drumming and rhythm, what I do in the parties and
right.
carnival and thing. And even down here in Miami, I wasn't really, getting them results that I wanted, whether it be because I didn't have the size, or I didn't have the people, or whatever. It's just, it just feels like I lost year after year. And when Miami is the only panorama I can actually arrange right now, because I haven't made it to where I want to make it yet,
Right.
it was yeah. That I ain't gonna lie, that depression is serious, son.
Yeah,
It's serious.
yeah,
Feel
that's
that you
really tough.
sustain it, but I don't know this because I just believe I have my pan right here in front of me. The pan right here,
Nice,
ready.
man.
Sorry, before you
And
continue, I hope you're not changing anything again.
Danielle, stop it. Stop. No, I'm not. No, I am not. All right, for those who don't know, okay, I'm arranging this here in Miami Panorama, and I usually consult with Danielle, like, hey, how you think about this now? And she has demanded me not to change anything. And no, I am not changing anything.
Okay.
I'm working on a gig that I have on Friday, so don't worry yourself.
Okay. Just
But
checking.
okay, all I'm saying is that even through like the whole depression and everything, and even through that whole hard thing, I don't know what it is about the pan, but as soon as I come, for me, in my story, as soon as I come behind it and I start to play, then no start to resonate. I was like, you fall in love again. I don't know what it
Yeah,
is.
yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, definitely. That happens the most for me. You see when
Mm.
my pan get tuned, I just play for hours. I don't know. Like when my pan get tuned, I could play for hours. Just
Yeah,
and
Yep.
stop.
and and don't even think about time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What? Oh, a fresh
I
man, a
saw
fresh
Augustus on
man.
here. Augustus, I need you in Alberta. I need my pan too.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Gus. Hey, shout out to Gus, yo. Augustus
Mhm.
Peters Instruments, Steel Pan. I got a plug in, right? I don't plug my boy. Shout out to
Yeah.
Gus, yo. Making great, excellent instruments. I mean, I had a
Definitely.
conversation with him a couple of days ago, and I was like, Gus, I don't think a lot of people understand what you're doing with the instruments. Like I play a lot of pans from a lot of people, from some of the greatest tuners ever,
Mm.
and what to me has stood out the most for Gus is when you play C, it don't it sounds like you're playing C on a piano. Like
It just rings.
it's steady. It's
Mm.
and it rings in a kind of way where it's not bleeding too. It's not, when you
Mm-hmm.
play certain patterns, like you play C and you try to play something else, but that C still going through everything else you didn't play. Like it's so much control that he's put behind each note. Like the pan
Mm-hmm.
sounds majority 9 times out of 10, the pan is gonna sound complete, and that's on the first play. You know what I mean? So,
That's true.
shout out to Gus. Gus is like our generation's Butch Kelman, Guppy Brown. Like he's on that status already. So we gotta, as I say, bro, we
Definitely.
gotta give flowers with flowers while men here. You know what I mean? So
Hmm.
much
Yeah.
respect to Gus, yo, and congrats, bro. I think he just got an award at which I didn't. I mean, I didn't understand the title of the award, but still he deserves it because he deserves
Yeah.
all the rewards and accolades he gets. I think he got a reward, an award from Pan Jamaica,
Yeah.
Best Young
Yeah.
Arranger or something like that.
He did.
Yeah.
No
Yeah.
matter those Gus, he deserve all the accolades, my brother. Right? They
Exactly.
deserve it.
Mm-hmm. And then some.
Yeah.
Facts.
It should have been best tuner,
Mm-hmm.
best tuner and entrepreneur and pan maker.
Yeah.
I agree. He does amazing work.
He
Yeah.
does.
Gus.
Very amazing work.
And not taking
Mm-hmm.
nothing away from nobody else, huh? We have a lot of
Of course.
nice,
Yeah.
No.
really,
Yeah.
really talented young tuners
Of
coming up.
course.
Shouting out Jason Hula one more time. Yo, the
Him
brother
too.
really impressed
Him
me
too.
this year, you know. And I would have known him for a while now. Actually, the first year I arranged for Panbury, he was one of the first tuners to tune for the band. Him and Andy Niels, and like his growth alone, like I've watched him develop from then until now, and it's like, yo, the man saying something. You know what I mean? Someone real good.
Hmm.
Kyle Noel and this guy
Yeah.
from Antigua, is Vernon or something like that. I can't remember his name. But these, we in good hands, and I mean, it has some nice tuners out here in America as well. You know, they're doing some good stuff.
Hmm.
So,
Right.
shout out to
Yeah.
all the tuners who continue to make quality instruments for us to play, man. I really appreciate
Indeed.
y'all.
We need more of
That's
you.
actually.
Yeah,
Yep. But it's actually nice to see. It's actually nice to see this though. Like the amount of tuners and pan makers that are coming from everywhere,
hmm
Mm-hmm.
and seeing them like really work on their craft. I'm just like,
Definitely.
so there's some tunes I never heard of.
Yeah,
I'm like, who is this?
yeah,
Who are
yeah,
these people? But I hear their work. I say, where's?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
Dudley
honestly,
Dixon
shout
is the
out
next one. Dudley
who?
Dixon is the next one. Dudley Dixon. He's actually
Uh,
Grenadian, but he lives in the UK. He blends for Ebony Steel, bro.
no,
Okay.
Amazing
there it
tune,
is.
amazing. That guy is he's a boy. I don't know what to call him again. Mad scientist. Mad
That's what you call it.
scientist.
That's
Yeah.
Fair enough.
You ever saw? I think Phase 2 has one of those basses. There's a 7 bass, and it have like a slope. You ever saw
yes,
that bass?
yes.
He invented
Yeah.
that bass. It's called the Sonia Sonic. Sonia Sonic bass.
So,
Yo,
so that's what
that
opened.
guy is on a different level with this thing. Different heights.
Wow.
Wow, innovation, boy. What?
Mm-hmm.
All these tuners I need to interview because there's some I've never heard of, and I think they
Definitely.
need to be recognized.
100%. You gotta get those guys on here
Yeah.
and give these guys those flowers as well. Because without them, there's no instruments.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No instruments. So we gotta get those guys the right
Mm-hmm.
credit. You know, Mapo's the next one.
Yeah.
Did some great work. And that's a big name, big name in the industry.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we just need a bit more because I don't want them to go extinct and then we have no one tuning pans. So
Yeah.
we
I
need
had them coming up.
a lot more.
It have a lot of young tuners coming up.
Okay.
Yeah. I think it'll be good.
I don't want us to
I think it'll be good.
be because there's pianos. I saw a video saying that they're becoming extinct. Like there's very little piano tuners now.
Right,
So I don't want us to get to that spot.
right.
I think we still have some time. Remember the panels were invented back in the 30s now, so
I
it'll be good.
know, but still. I want us to get ahead of the game.
Yeah. You feeling paranoid? Yeah, oh god.
Great? Yes. So,
Yeah,
Sips, do you remember the conversation we had 2 weeks ago?
You talking to me?
Who?
Or you talking to
Yes, you do.
me?
Spencer. Yes, I'm
Oh,
talking to you.
Spencer.
Oh,
We
2 weeks ago.
we have someone that was doing all three panoramas, so we can ask him the questions.
Oh god. Oh, wait, no, hold on. Yes, you told me to hold this question for this.
It's okay. Okay, I can lead it. I can lead it.
Please help me out here. Just help me remember.
So a lot of the questions that we've had were what are the criteria for each panorama? So since you did Toronto, you did New York and Notting Hill, are the criteria all the same, Andre?
No, I didn't do Toronto. I did Trinidad.
Or
I
Trinidad,
could
sorry.
tell you all the Panamas I've done. I've done Trinidad. I've done. Well, I can't tell you all. But I can give you hints for some.
Right.
I did Trinidad. I did Guyana, Panama. I did London. I've done New York, and I've done a couple of bands within the Caribbean for their
Okay.
respective Panamas.
Okay. So are all the criteria pretty much the same, or is there like differences? How is the point system?
Well, um, predominantly it's kind of similar, especially when it comes down to the points. And I know why you asked me that points question. Prod-
We'll get
Predominantly,
there. We'll get there.
it's all the same in terms of like a lot of the Panamas they use the same criteria, like the same the judging sheet with the same breakdown
Mm-hmm.
on points. 40 points for arrangement, 40 points for general performance, 10 points for tonal quality, 10 points for rhythm and whatever, right? Yeah, that's it. Yeah, 10 points for that. Yeah. Um, this year in England, they decided to try something new. Uh, uh, Due to a suggestion from Andy Norrell, he
Mm-hmm.
decided he wanted to try a ranking system, and which was a system that he would have came across with in judging. I think it was a South African percussion
Marimba.
festival marimba festival that he judged, and he saw the concept and he thought that it would have been more effective than giving out just points. You know what I mean? Where you don't really get the full the full the full justice, especially when it comes to things like dropping the highest and lowest, and it's like you don't have to
Mm-hmm.
deal with that anymore. You know what I mean?
Right.
All the judges who would have spent their time to sit down for what 3-4 hours and judge however much band would finally get all their points and all their comments taken into consideration. So that was put into effect. Actually, that to be very honest with you, the first person that told me that this was going to happen was actually
Mm-hmm.
Duvon.
Really?
Oh.
Duvon had told me this, well, maybe like a month or maybe right before we went to England at that situation. That is how the Panama was getting ready to be judged. Because Andy has been talking to myself and Duvon about implementing this ranking system for a while now, probably since about 2018. He's been talking
Mm-hmm.
to us, and he's been wanting to get NHC or whoever was running the Panama to buy into it. It finally came into fruition. So I knew about it. I believe Duvon knew about it before the Panama. We all kind of knew about it, but you know, they I've heard they talk about they had a meeting on the day of to make all the bands aware, which is that's it's possible. I
Mm-hmm.
wasn't in that meeting, so I really can't give you. I don't want to give any kind of false,
Yeah.
information. But that's what I heard
Yeah.
that they were supposed to have some kind of meeting with the judges and the bands on the day of. So basically, not to state that they were going to use that ranking system, but to explain what the ranking system was.
Right.
I don't know if it took place. I'm not, I was dealing with the band at that point. You know what I mean, I was rehearsing
Mm.
the
Right.
band and getting the band ready to play as we played band number one. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and then, as you would have saw in Andy's letter was we played, and then I guess a few bands played, and then he must have realized something was not adding up the way he thought it was supposed to add up. I'm not too sure exactly what he meant by it, or he saw some flaws within the system that he didn't get to explain, and thought, well, it might be a better idea to, I don't know if it was to revert back to what the old system was, or to maybe tally up the points or something of that sort. And that's how the original result of Ebony winning the Panama came about. But
Mm-hmm.
the initial system that they all agreed upon, that all the bands agreed upon apparently, with the head of the event, which is NHC, was that it went by a ranking system. That means if there were 5 judges, and let's say 3 judges had us winning and three judges had Ebony second, and three judges had. That's how the system will go. It's about who has the most first place, who had the most second place, who had the most third place, and so that's how it came about. Where they would have checked over that part of the system and realized, well, something's not adding up here. You know, we had the most first place, but I guess they tallied whatever points, and they saw that Ebony had more points or something along that line. But that wasn't the plan this year. The plan was to go by the ranking system, so they went with that.
Okay.
So since you're done with the ranking system and the point system, what do you prefer? Or does it matter?
I just prefer transparency. I just prefer this just to do it right the first time. Like they could do whatever they want to do, but just like, to me, like even it was even hard for me to even like come to terms when they had called me, because I had already left the Panama when the results called and everything. I was home. Actually, I was on FaceTime with Peso, doing Peso's music with them, because the time difference and everything. And when I get a call, well, the first call I got is obviously that we came second. And then I get a call back from the management of Mangrove saying, "Oh, hold tight," but they feel like there was a mishap with the system, and they mistallied, and they feel like the results will change, and which will make us winners. And so I actually got upset. I got upset because this is something similar that happened last year. In the sense, not in terms of obviously the ranking system, but this idea of we not like they're playing with people's feelings and they're toying with people's emotions. Because at the end of the day, everybody's investing their time. You know, myself and Duvon and all the other arrangers within the competition are putting our heart and soul into delivering music, in which it really shouldn't just be about competition, right? It shouldn't be about who wins and who loses, but it should be about putting out quality music and making people feel something and bringing joy to people's hearts, right? But we know at the end of the day, it still is a competition, and you want to win, you want to, succeed, and you want to be the best. So when they called me, I was actually a little bit annoyed that once again you're telling me that I win after the fact, after they take the whole.
Okay, well, it's a whole fable where they thought that Nigerians not going to be healthy.
Sorry, you cut out. Is there a TV or something playing in the background?
Yeah, that's what they say, but it's not true.
Is that me? Hello?
Hi,
You
sorry.
still there?
There's
You can hear
something playing in the background. Okay, go
Can you all hear me?
ahead.
Is it better now?
Can you all hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can hear you now.
So
Yeah.
so when they originally told me, I was kind of a little, not, I wouldn't say upset, but a little disappointed with not getting these things right, because at the end of the day, this doesn't feel good for anybody. You know what I mean? It doesn't feel good for myself. It don't feel, I'm sure, and I know this for a fact, that it don't feel good for Ebony players, nor does it feel good for Duvon and the rest of the bands as well, because these kind of things shouldn't really take place within a Panama. Mistakes happen, right?
Yep.
2 years in a row.
Yeah.
I mean, that something's going on there. So as much as I appreciate the judges that did have us winning, and I accept what the result is now, I just, at the time, it was hard for me to even
Accept it.
to enjoy. I accept it, but I didn't really get to enjoy it. I kind of just, when they told me, I said, whatever, yes, and I just on to the next. Yeah, on to the next.
Ricardo has a question. What elements would you like to see added to the judging criteria? I feel like general performance is too subjective.
What I would say is, before I would add, I would take away. You hear this, right?
Okay.
I would take away, or yeah, I would actually like to take away two categories. You see, tonal quality and rhythm. Unless you have tuners and actual percussionists or drummers or somebody on the judging panel to judge that, It should not be on there because too many times, and I'm sure anybody who ever arranged for Panama, you're getting great tone of quality, 8 out of 10, 7 out of 10, and you have Butch Kelvin and Augustus Peters instruments. You know what I mean? So
Mhm.
clearly somebody doesn't understand tone of quality. Now,
Mhm.
I believe what's happening as well is that there's a lot of judges that cannot differentiate between the orchestration of the arranger and the tonal quality of the band. Where there's some arrangers that can bring out, as they say in the culture, the sweetness of the instruments and know how to orchestrate the instruments properly. And there's some that don't. There's some that just don't understand lower limit intervals and distortion and stuff like that. Where you know, I've been on record saying this in the past. There's a lot of us that are going for this kind of power song now, where we're trying
Mhm.
to make the band song so fat and big,
Mhm.
but it's becoming distorted if you really
Mhm.
listen to it. You know what I mean? So I think if they're gonna keep that category, I actually like you had to put some tuners on the panel every time. You know
Yeah,
I
that's
agree.
something
what
that
I mean?
we actually spoke to about 2 weeks ago because Spencer was saying that there should be someone. I don't know if you want to say it, Spencer, because you could probably
Yeah,
explain
because
it better.
actually, you know what? Andre, I completely agree because um I grew up like I other than pan and drums, I grew up in marching band, and I grew up with marching band, DCI, and all kind of thing.
Right.
And I looked at their judging criteria, and what I've noticed is that there's a judge there who judges general musical effect, and that's their lane.
Mm-hmm.
And they also have a judge who judges the percussion and just the percussion
Alone.
alone.
Yeah.
And 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 whatever they decide to give the score, they give the score. And I honestly believe if we were to keep those two categories, I agree with you, Andre, in a tuner and I'll say a tuner who is continually to master that art form, but
Yeah.
has championships under he belts, enough
Right. Right.
championships under he belt to where he
He could
can judge a tonal quality.
identify. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then for percussion now this I'm throwing this out there. I would I would I would call somebody like I would call I would call a I would call a Foster.
Yeah.
I would call
Yeah.
a
Definitely.
I will call maybe even we name Gregory.
Yeah. Yeah.
Gregory.
Yeah. There's
Gregory the
people
animal.
animal.
You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Animal. There's
You know
Richard Bailey. There's a lot of Tony Mason. There's a lot of guys that have the qualities to judge a Panama that understand the function of the engine room and
yeah,
the rhythm section.
correct.
Sheldon Twaits is a lot of guys. There's a
Sheldon.
lot
Yep.
of guys.
Yeah.
That they could call. I mean, and I'm not taking away anything from the judges that judge the Panama now, but
Mhm.
I think if they're going to keep these subcategories, then they should definitely like either they um it should definitely sorry,
That's
I lost my train of
okay.
thought. I was watching something that's going on here. Either yeah, they should definitely is either they take them out or they get people to judge it properly or they do or you educate these judges on like get those guys to help them understand what they're listening for.
Correct.
You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Again, because I think a lot of the time they get misconstrued. I mean, there's too many times I'm seeing on my score sheet,
Hmm.
rhythm steady, and then they gave me 8 out of 10, or tempo
Mhm.
stayed consistent and 7 out of 10. Like how? Like what?
Right.
Can you say anything more? Can you say why we didn't get 10? Or like where's the 3 points? Well, a lot of them can.
Right.
They wouldn't even understand how to get the rhythm section to function, how it's functioning right now.
Mhm.
Hmm.
What's in a
Mhm.
panel?
Hmm.
You know what I mean? They just
Mhm.
feel like everybody's keeping a time in and that is it. And it's a lot
Agree.
more that goes behind it. I mean, there's a lot of science that goes behind. I wouldn't say science, but there's a lot of strategy and there's a lot of very meticulous and 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 purposeful and intentful ideas that go behind playing in rhythm section today. A lot more than probably in the past. So
Agree.
Mhm.
they should
Agreed.
definitely get these guys to either sit down on the panel or work with these judges and help them understand what's taking place. Or just take it off completely and put it in the subcategory for something else. Put it as orchestration.
Mhm.
Give that 10 points to orchestration. Give the 10 points of rhythm to Spirit of Carnival. Or
Right.
whatever, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Whatever it is. But those two subcategories, I feel they should just do away.
Right. There's some comments here. Casey said there are two of the most subjective categories in the criteria. Wistic said not only that, scores should be displayed after each band, which we talked
100%.
about last week. Like as soon as you're done playing, scores are up,
Yeah,
just
put
like the
them
Olympics.
up. Yeah, put them
Yeah.
up. Everybody have the
Michael
screen
DePass
now.
said, get rid of the judging. Get rid of the judging of the subjective stuff. And then Trinidad said a lot of judges think that the engine room is just noise.
Yeah, because they don't
Um,
understand
And we
what's
don't
the
know.
function.
Mm-hmm.
They
yeah.
don't really know the function of each instrument within the rhythm section. Like for me, as an arranger, I could hear when a band needs certain like I'll tell you guys an interesting story, right? So I was when I like the early stages of doing Peso song this year. We were
Mm-hmm.
doing we just got outside into the planet outside and stuff like that, and we were going on with the song. And I'm hearing the song, but something about like I actually thought I was going crazy. I was like, am I getting worse? So like, do I not understand what's taking place within the orchestration? Like something not singing right.
Mm.
And I'm
Mm-hmm.
listening, I'm listening, I'm listening. I stop the band. I say, all right, just the iron play. I listen the iron. Okay, it's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Congos and the rhythm play. Congos and the band play. The congos being out of tune and the
Mm.
wrong key, having
Mm.
the whole song sounding bad. And all my orchestration, and everything I'm doing is very intentional. So I could
Right.
hear things a certain kind of way, but just because it was playing, I think one of the congos was tuned to like a F sharp, and the next one was like a G sharp, but it was very low.
Mm.
So it was mixed within like the middles, and it was like, what are we doing right now? Like, you know what I mean? So I had was to when they tune the congas, you just heard the whole song open up. You know what I mean?
Mm.
And
Mm-hmm.
so those things is what I'm kind of curious to know if the band like if the judges know that these things are happening, if they're aware. You know what I mean?
Probably not.
I, probably not
Well,
exactly.
I mean,
A bad iron could really throw off your whole band.
Yeah.
it's a bad iron, a bad snare drum, a bad choice of cymbals. We can go on about this.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
You know, as a drummer, I have this bad habits, but I do it every time. Whatever band I listen to, other than the arrangements, I listen to the engine room. I listen to, okay, what kind, how high is that snare tune? Could it go higher? Could it go lower? Okay, are the congas like the congas themselves? Are they tuned well together? Are they making a chord? What choice of iron? What choice of symbols are they using? Listen. I drive my mind crazy with that. I think it definitely matters because a bad song, like the players in the rhythm section can be great, but
Mm-hmm.
if their stuff is not tuned accordingly, it could it could break the band.
Correct.
Right. There's a couple questions and comments here. Jackman says, but the music is subjective. I think a better question would be, what can be changed about the judging process that would encourage arrangers to be more creative and innovative instead of sterile?
Well, I think because the music is subjective, I think what needs to be judged more than the music is the execution of the music. And
Mm-hmm.
and again, and by execution also meaning you add those subcategories of orchestration. Even though orchestration could also be subjective, but anyway you think about it, no matter what, you want clarity. Like
Right.
everybody wants to be able to hear everything. So you could always no matter what they say, like if a band is well orchestrated and I can hear everything, I'm gonna rate them higher than it doesn't matter how like what the musical idea is, but if the orchestration is there, you could hear
Mm-hmm.
everything versus a song that's probably extremely dense with a lot of nice parts happening, but there's a lot of parts overlapping and the orchestration is not there. You have to give it the ensemble, that's clear that you're hearing everything. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because if something is,
Mm-hmm.
it's about being palatable, it's about being digestible. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
At the end of the day,
Mm-hmm.
that's why guys like Bradley and Smooth and Booksy and those guys were so great because they figured out. And Jit, look, whose music was more intricate and dense than Jit, but he was able to figure out how to get clarity at the end of the day. So that's what Panama should be judged about, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Execution and clarity. Ideas
Yeah.
are subjective. Daniel, there's no reason to there's nothing on this planet or no one that could tell me your idea is better than mine or my that's all matters of opinion.
Right.
I mean, everyone, some will like yours, some will like mine, some will like Spencer's. That's just what it is. What it is,
Mm-hmm.
right? If all sure we make a pillow, no, sure, people will say, "Well, I rather this one than that one," and you get all kind of people saying all kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
But
Um.
the idea of
Again.
judging music, it's yeah, should be
Yeah.
orchestration.
Sorry. Everyone that has comments, please put them in the question bubble below because I'm seeing a whole bunch going through and I'm missing some.
I ain't
I'll go to
seeing
Michael
no
first.
comments. How you seeing comments? I ain't
I
seeing
don't
none.
know. It's okay. I got you.
Right.
Andre. Michael has a question. What do you think about the judging setup time?
Mm.
Oh,
Are
it's a loaded
they
question.
are they judging setup time? I mean, I think the only okay, this is me being completely transparent.
Yeah.
Only place I've ever really seen they really judge setup time is Trinidad.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
That's the only place I've ever saw them judge like and really take the rules within the guideline.
Mm-hmm.
Take those
Mm-hmm.
rules seriously. Like I've personally been penalized of going over time. I've personally
Really?
been penalized of my bands have personally been penalized of taking too long to set up. You know what I mean? I've had those things happen to me. So I could tell you
Oh, wow.
like Trinidad for sure, but nowhere else. I've never had England or New York or I've never seen it. So maybe I mean I could be wrong. I'm just talking about my experiences, right? So y'all don't
Mm-hmm.
kill me, right? Whoever listen, don't kill me. I just talk about from my personal experiences. I never
So,
really see it happen.
so how much time do you guys have to set up then? Normally.
Depends. Normally they just say like 15 minutes a band, or probably less, depending on the size of the band. Like I know single band, it's the song is what 8 minutes. I think you get about 8 minutes to set up as well, and 8 minutes to come on the stage, something
Mm.
Oh,
along
okay.
that lines. So yeah, every band is supposed to get a half an hour on stage. So if it's eight
Um,
minutes,
Okay.
8 minutes, and they'll probably give it like 10 minutes to set up, 10 minutes to come off. If it's a conventional band. But then you get into those large bands now, like the Desperados and the Renegades. It's gonna take longer than 10 minutes. It's almost impossible.
Yep.
Especially those bands like Desperados who had a whole following and a whole network on the stage, and it's torture. You know what I mean?
mhm.
But shout out to Panchamigo and a lot of my friends who I would have came up with in the early and now on the executive board, and they're doing an amazing job with the show and the production time. Like they're really having everything, and I'm talking about multiple shows.
Mhm.
Festival, I'm talking about Panorama, I'm talking about Panorama Memory Lane. Everything is running real smooth,
Yeah.
and they're doing great work with that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
New York,
Yeah.
New York's
Desi.
problem now is we just don't have a big enough stage. So that is the problem with why it's taking so long to set up
Oh,
in New York.
Mm.
Yeah, the
is it
stage is
still
not
at
for
the
pan.
museum?
Huh?
Is it still at
It's
the museum?
still in the museum, but the stage that they have now is not for they're trying to make multi-purpose like a multi-purpose stage.
Oh.
So where
Oh,
like the day before would have voice vibes of voice, whoever he just have these little
right.
shows, Tom Marshall, like maybe a couple of days before Kess or whatever. So they
Right.
have a stage for that. And to break down that stage now, to build a next stage just for pan alone, that
Mm.
expense is too much. So
Right.
they try to build like a two-in-one kind of situation where they'd have a stage where they could just make like a small platform for the artists and them to perform on, and they'll take up that
Mhm.
platform, and that's what they did this year. And then they'll use like the actual stage itself for the Panama, but even that stage was still a little too small.
Wow.
Interesting. Trini Desi has a comment. Jet Samurai used to call for the iron to be tuned. It used to set renegades apart. Sorry, I
Mm.
can't read from the rest. That was
Oh,
a
I see what.
comment.
Oh,
That was a comment.
wow, I thought that was multi comment.
It was a
Yeah,
comment.
I mean, as a lot of people don't know this. Well, some do, some don't.
Mm.
I would have started with Renegade Youths in like 2006, 2006, 7 or something like that. I was playing Renegades like in the earlys with them.
Yeah, I remember
As
seeing you.
as a teenager, you know what I mean? And Renegades rhythm section
Mm.
is like none other. It's
Mm.
probably, to me, in my opinion, is the absolute best. Like, if there's any rhythm section to model, it's that one. Like, that is
I
a
would agree.
well-oiled machine.
Okay.
I would
Well-oiled
agree.
machine. So yeah,
I
the
have
iron is
I have to
perfect.
agree. Yeah,
Wisdix
I agree.
has a question here. What about the sound quality of the mics?
Hmm.
Speakers are right next to the judges in most dramas.
These are good.
Is that a load question too?
Nah,
No, I mean, no,
listen.
I
Nah,
think it's more of a point he's making. I mean,
so,
and the points he's
Yeah.
making are valid. I mean, even in Trinidad, as much as Trinidad is the Makati instrument, and they've came such a long way of mic in the pans, it's still
hmm.
like,
Mm-hmm.
honestly, like for me, and because I've been on both sides of the fence, obviously, like I've been on the stage and I've been on the stage, and to me, when I'm watching the panorama, the best places to be is actually right behind the judges, because most panoramas, ironically enough, the judges don't hear the speakers.
Hmm.
It's like they all kind of like conveniently turn the speakers in a kind of way where the audience will hear the speakers, but the judges won't. Or they put the
Hmm.
judges in a way where the judges is hearing more. They hear the speakers, but they hearing more the band live. So it's like a good balance. Like, I don't know if
Um,
Daniel, you've ever like listened behind the judges in Trinidad, but you're hearing the band mixed in with what you're hearing in the speakers.
Interesting. I will be there next year. That's
Yeah, yeah.
trying.
And then now the grandstand has speakers as well, so the grandstand pushing that song.
Okay.
Yeah, remember it's
hmm.
covered, so
Yeah.
you're hearing all that stuff from behind. But I like
Right.
personally, I like to be right there. I want to hear them coming through. You know what I mean? Clear.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, in terms of miking for the instrument, I mean, I don't know if there's mics that are adequate enough to really capture that kind of sound live, like the
Mm-hmm.
actual natural essence of a steel band for a partner live. I don't think it's been invented yet. But I mean, there's
Right.
some good ones. I mean, and there's really great engineers that have figured out ways to get us very close, or to get some really great quality. Shout out to Cats and those guys from UTT. They do some great stuff. And now
Mm-hmm.
Cats is going all over the world and sharing his knowledge. So hopefully we get
That's
some
good.
good audio with.
That's
I
good.
mean, eventually New York will get to the times and let these guys run the song. So fingers crossed,
Mm-hmm.
fingers
Because the
crossed
sound
for
is
that.
horrible.
Yeah, especially for the live
Yeah.
guys here.
The live
So bad.
stream.
Yeah. Casey has a question. Which one of your arrangements this year is your most impactful to you?
Which one of my arrangements this year is the most impactful to me? Who's this?
Casey.
I don't know who that.
Um, 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 uh, and Tiga.
Oh, Khan.
Yeah.
Hey, Khan,
God.
what's up, man? That's a bad boy there. And that's my dog.
I need to bring him here too.
Yeah,
Hmm.
Khan is a great one.
Hmm.
Great musician, quality musician. Congrats to Khan as well. You won the Antigua Award.
Yes.
It's like the
Oh, what
100th
hell?
time you win
Yeah, what
in a
hell's
row.
it? Yeah.
He won about 100 Panama in a row.
Pretty much.
He ain't stopping
Yeah.
either, boy.
Hmm.
uh, um, what was the question again?
Um, which of your arrangements
Oh,
has been most impactful? Yeah.
um, I like different arrangements for different things. I think
Can I
I think
name
what I
one?
did. Sure. I think you could pick one.
The one that you did, it was a classical one.
Oh, okay, yeah. The foreigner.
Yeah. That one was good.
Yeah. That one was special. Yeah, that one was special.
Yeah.
That was the first time I got back to first time in a long time I've gotten back to writing classical music or some kind of classical contemporary ish
Mm-hmm.
style music. I haven't done that in a long time, but it was a great
That one
experience to
hit
do it again.
different.
Yeah. That was good. That was a good one. Then
Yeah.
I completely forgot about that. I did
What?
a lot of songs. No, this year. I think I did about 7 Panama songs this year alone.
Oh
Panama
wow.
esque songs. If that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Goodness.
I really liked what I did with. I mean, I know some people might have feel a little different, but I like what I did in England. For different reasons. Like, you know, I don't know if everybody caught on, but like I kind of was trying to do this thing where, like, I don't understand why you word this right way. To me,
Just say it.
Panama. Oh yeah, I had to be careful, guy. Don't worry. Panama back in the day, like obviously, like the guys who are arranging, they were arranging from the vocabulary of calypso, right? Where soca is not necessarily far removed from that. It's the offspring of calypso. Yes, we understand that.
Mhm.
But we've
Yep.
reached now in 2024, and we're still using a lot of the calypso uh quotes and idioms and fragments within soca arrangements. And
Mm.
so what I tried to do is I try to kind of direct my arranging style more towards soca. And if you understand soca today, it's a lot simpler harmonically than um calypso was, right? But it's more
Mm-hmm.
focused on hits. It's more focused on it's more similar to like gospel, right?
Hmm.
Right.
Like gospel arrangements or like R&B arrangements. So I kind of took more of that kind of approach and fused it with the soca and you know, to me it came out unique, it came out fresh. You know, some people would like it, some people might not like it, but I loved it. I mean, I had a great time, and that was like one of my favorite songs for the carnival. Actually, that was the song I wanted to do for Skiffle. Maybe I probably wouldn't have
Okay.
done it like that for Skiffle, but that was the
Yeah.
song I really wanted to do. I didn't really want to do Inventor for Skiffle. So yeah, that
Okay.
one. The DNA came out good too. Dr. Cassandra was good. I had fun doing that.
Yeah. Dr.
Yeah,
Cassandra was
Dr.
good too.
Cassandra
Yeah.
was fantastic.
It was really good. Yeah.
Yeah, that was good. I had fun with that. Carnival Jumbly was good too. I had fun with that one too.
Mhm.
I had it was a lot of fun this year. It was a lot of fun.
Nice. Judah has a question. Are pan events worldwide thriving or stagnant? Why or why not? What can be done to foster diversity on an individual level?
Okay, let's start. I feel we should. Well, I just sitting here talking. I don't know if I want to. Let's be specific. We talking about pan events, like we
Mhm.
talking about events featuring solo artists, ensembles, or we talking about like steel bands? Because it's like those are two different types of things. That's like when people say like pan dying, I
Mhm.
don't like that comment. Maybe steel band and its original form is dying, but pan
Mhm.
is not dying because we have a lot of guys taking this thing all over the world, and the
Correct.
instrument is thriving in so many different ways outside of the culture,
Correct.
right? So
Mhm.
the instrument is not dying at all. It's growing steadfast. Um, but in terms of pan events for steel band, it's become extremely stagnant. Um, and
Mm.
that's just my opinion. You know, I mean, I've went to too many pan events where one block you've been to one block or you've been to all. And I'm talking about around the world, and
Right.
And you know what I
Mm.
mean? It's like one pan event that was really nice though, and shout out to New York and the BSO crew.
Mhm.
They did this thing back like a few years ago called Pan is Sweet, and that was really good. You know, so I think we
Mm.
should try to kind of gear towards those kind of things. I mean, we're kind of stretching the limitations of the instrument. So to answer your
Mhm.
question, Judah, yes, pan events have been stagnant. And what could they do to help it? Try to think outside the box.
Mm.
Right.
Think
Yeah.
outside the box. I mean, stop thinking just for the community alone. Yes, I feel the community will always come. I mean, they love pan. Like we
Yeah.
all love pan. People love the culture,
Mhm.
love the instrument. So we gotta sort
Mhm.
of think outside the box, be unique, incorporate different voices, incorporate different instruments, incorporate different ideas. Um, one thing I've always wanted to do was I always wanted to playwright or write music for some kind of play or some kind of film score. You know what I mean? I've never heard a steel band do a complete production like a Broadway. I mean, I think that would be so interesting.
That'd be
Like we have to start to
very
go
cool.
into doing these kind, and
Yeah.
we don't have to wait for Broadway to call us. Like, what would it be for a steel band to work with some kind of acting company and say, look, let's put together some kind of play, and where the steel band will do all the music for the pit. You know what I mean? Those are the kind of things we gotta start thinking outside the box. I mean, shout out to Renegades because Renegades do their own show like it was what I think it's the first Friday of every month or the last Friday, and they feature a steel band and they make sure. I remember Candace saying one time, you know, she has always make sure to put a band on the stage, like because for some reason a lot of these events and these promoters like to put the band on the ground outside and put when patrons coming in they want to play like come on we deserve to be on the stage too.
Mm-hmm.
You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? So
Local reach. Local reach.
What's up?
That Daniel, you let this woman inside here? Oh
Sorry.
gosh.
So I take her out?
No.
Nah, this is family here now. What is this
What's up,
family? What's
Daniel?
going on?
Good night.
Good night.
So just keep in mind, Tony comes on when the conversation is good and she has something to say.
Yeah.
So this is true. This is true.
She right there.
I'm just showing my
She right
face.
there start
Okay.
This is my once a year pop-in. Listen, we already need to talk. You know.
Always,
So even
always.
it's that time
Fair.
of year. Things need to get done. Hi, Can. Can't put my whole government name outside. All right. Yeah, I mean, loving the conversation. So I just thought I'd pop in for a few and just join the. Don't stop on my behalf.
Well, you can answer. You can answer.
This is an open discussion. Off your chest. Off your chest.
No, I mean, like I always like to come with the extra facts. I know we were talking earlier about like setup and Dre just mentioned like Pana Street, which I love because I was a part of both of them. So I would love that get back on board.
That was a great event.
It really was, and it was a great thing for the community in New York as well, and environs. Because people really, I think we underestimate how much people want to see more things happen. Like, I mean, and I'll be honest, for me, a lot of those things are new because of where I am and what I grew up in. But I know it's new for other spaces. And I'm like, we don't have to reinvent the wheel. Like, you can take things that you see here or elsewhere and tailor it. Don't do a carbon copy, which a lot of people do, because what works here, I was like, but what works here is not going to work somewhere else in the exact same format. Let me add that, in the exact same format. So you can take it and tailor it to your space and make it work for whatever you want. And I know Jerry was just talking about loving to see Broadway. Again, those are things that happen here all the time. In our space, I've been doing that since undergrad, where we have the steel band is basically a pit orchestra, and we have theater and plays and stuff. Of course, it's not. You don't always see it plastered all over, and these are the things that people don't see, so they're not aware that it's happening. So when I see conversations about, oh, we should do this, I'm like, that I've been going to those like forever. Like there are shows coming up in Queens all over the next week or two where some steel bands will be featured, and it's like heavy percussion instruments or a lot of Japanese integration stuff, and I'm like, these are things that I'm super accustomed to. So if I seem very snobbish, I probably am because I just accustomed to these things, So and I just find it very unfortunate that other people don't get to experience it, which is why I'm always sharing information about what's happening out there as best as I can.
So I have a
Because
question.
people should see that it's happening.
So I have a question. So if this is already happening, right now as we speak, and this is the first time I am also hearing this, but like you said, more people need to see this. So I guess the question I go ask is this for everybody: how can people from outside of Trinidad, how can we get them to see this so they can be like, oh my gosh, this works. Do we need to like put some documentaries together, like get some big film crew and you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think the reason why it varies in terms of accessibility is because it's not the same person or entity throwing these different
Mm.
events. And sometimes the persons who are at the helm of the events and is not a punching bag or anything like that. It may not always be the Ministry of Tourism.
Mm.
So it's really about I mean, me in my capacity, I'm in the mix of a lot of different things and a lot of different people. It's my job to network, really and truly.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm aware of things. I mean, I'm not aware of every single thing, but I'm aware of things based on the people that I know and it's the even pages that I may follow and that kind of thing. So you see things pop up all the
Mm.
time. But I understand for the average person that may not be the case, which is why I try to share things as much as I can
Mm.
sometimes as they come up. So things are advertised, but on their end, they might seem like they're advertising the hell out of it, but who are they advertising to? They're not advertising to the specifics of the pan community, if that makes sense.
That makes sense.
Because they're just advertising to
Yeah.
the specific. So I mean it's not an excuse, but it's
Makes
the reason
sense.
that I've noticed.
Mm-hmm.
And also, I want to apologize because Chris made a good point. And I do remember, I think this is where I kind of was pulling from the other day. I think Ray did, he did kind of play about his life story or something like that, right? Or something like that. He did one
Mhm.
by Phase 2 where he had a steel
And
band.
it was
Yeah, it was great. It
amazing.
was great. It was great. I do remember that.
It was really good.
But yeah, those things need to happen more. Like those kind of things, not just a block
Yeah.
and not just a fundraiser, not
Mm-hmm.
just I invite this band here and we just play and I'm
Yeah, I mean
tired of seeing those things.
like right now there are films we have films in theater about
Mm-hmm.
Pan.
Mm-hmm.
There's the Pan Am one, which I'm hoping to see because I didn't get to see it um, when it first came out. So I see it
Mm-hmm.
coming up again, and I'm hoping to go see it. And then there was the other one done by Mark Locon
DeVerteuil.
in collaboration with
Mm-hmm.
no, not the Duvon one, the one that's running right now. Right, is
Oh
it
yeah,
still
yeah, yeah,
running?
yeah. I know what you're talking
I have
about.
to check to
Yeah,
see
Has
if it's
that?
still running with
the one with the
Safaria Delto
Panyards,
Oh,
something like
from
that.
okay.
the
Mm-hmm.
Panyard Universe.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I went to the viewing in Delton, Spaniard, and it's really good. I mean, those are more than one way to get awareness, get investors, and so on and so forth. Their Spaniard space is amazing. I've been wanting to go there for years, but I don't really get to that side very
Right.
often. But there are things like that that's happening. Pan is in theater. You can go and see it like a regular
Mm-hmm.
show.
Mm-hmm.
Um, what's this question?
Sorry, before
Sorry.
we get to that question, there was a comment earlier saying one thing I noticed when visiting bands' socials is that they're not quite active, which I think affects the perception of Pan by a younger crowd. That's by Tisha. And then the question by Judah is for Kris. Can you tell me 3 of the most underrated steel kind events happening that the wider Pan community isn't aware of?
Underrated.
Mhm.
Um,
If there are any.
I don't know if I don't think I would have any underrated. I mean, they can always be more well attended, but I think most of the major events are pretty much out there, and anything else outside of that, um, it's really individual bands doing their own
Mhm.
things. We have happen here a lot. So I won't say. I mean, I know a lot of times Dre was pointing out that you know there are different levels to things, and we always want to see things happen at the steel band level. The full, I think everybody thinks 125 players are practicing daily throughout the year. That's just a competition
Mm-hmm.
thing.
Yeah.
On a regular basis, I think, I believe Renegades will have the biggest stateside, where they're over 50 at this point, I think.
Good.
But aside from them, everybody else just have, regular stateside and they do their own corporate gigs, regular gigs, and I mean, what happens in that space? They do shows all the time, and then recently, is it gone? Yeah, recently I think Fontclair had something that was really good, or is it coming up? I forgot the dates. But there are things happening all of the time. I just think people expect to see things happen on a large scale, and that's not practical. So let's start it. It's not practical. If you're thinking moving a band for Panorama is easy, it's just as challenging throughout the year to carry a 40, 50-piece band to gigs all of the time and moving up and down. It's not impossible, but with the limitations around events and space and finances, that's not practical.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure if I have a favorable answer to that question, but most of the events, they're pretty well done. I think it's just more on an individual band or individual person level.
Yeah.
Those things can be promoted a little bit more. Which would lean into what somebody was saying about social media. Yeah, somebody just mentioned social media. That would kind of lead into that. We could see a little bit more of it.
Yeah.
You all need to follow people too.
Yes.
So follow, stop only following your friends. If you only follow your friends, then how you will know things happening? Follow other people.
Exactly. Music Man has a question. What can be done to build networking type relationships between bands regionally / internationally?
Make friends.
Follow my page. I follow all the steel bands, well, majority of them. I'm pretty sure I'm missing some. But follow the steel
make friends, go to all the events. If you know something's happening in your region, go to it.
Yeah.
Go to it.
And not just free things.
Come on,
pay your money.
Kris, tell them, please. Tell them again.
Pay your money and go to events. I mean, a lot of the events that I go to, in terms of building myself, my brand, the people that I work with, is not public free events. I don't really get to network in that. I just go to show my face and, do stuff like work. But it's more exclusive events, it's small shows, it's paid events, it's events with persons of public stature. That kind of thing is I mean, yes, you can do this. You can do it you could start with free events if you don't have the pocket to. I don't know everybody pockets. If you don't have the pocket to pay to go to a lot of events, just like you're planning out the rest of your life, make a point to say, hey, I want to put aside X to go to this one event this one year and make it intentional. And then other than that, talk to people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And don't tell people just to gossip on my business. If you're interested in actually networking is not just about selling yourself. It's really putting yourself out there so people can get to know who you are, find out what's going on in another community. I'm constantly having conversations about reaching across now international borders, which is something that takes a while. I'm in the process of there's something that's going on, planning for. It's going on a year and a half to 2 years just because of the magnitude of sharing information or taking people or taking instruments to places with limitations of where this flight is and how you have to get there and approvals and all that. It takes time, so you have to be persistent about it and know what your goal is. If your goal is just to get to know people, then just go to everything and talk to people. If you're afraid to talk to people, there are classes for that.
There you go. I just pinned a comment saying, Pan Brass Soca, October 3rd, Kingston Beach, Georgetown, Guyana. So there's one right there.
I'll be there.
Nice.
Can I get an invite? Like, I could come to Guyana.
You're invited now. You're getting invited now.
Spencer, I just want to go back because we briefly spoke about it. For Miami, is there a setup time for you guys? Like just setup time? And how long is it?
There definitely is a setup time, and most of the time we are definitely rushed. I believe we have about maybe 10 minutes? 10, 15.
Okay.
But what I don't like about the whole setup, setup timing and whatnot, right, is that this is my opinion. And whoever is on here and goes to Miami Panorama, you can cuss me later. I don't care. Is the fact that the the people who do the mic-in, it's like, yo, I'm watching them mic the pan, right? I'm like, yo, what are you mic-in air? Or are you actually trying to mic pan? Because how they mic, they have a mic, they have how they mic the pans is different every single time for every single band. And it's not like, the mics are stationary. Like the mics, like they literally have a, what is it? Wireless mic, and once the band is done, they put it in the back, and then once the band is ready to settle, they bring out all the mics one like again, and one, but it's always the front. Of course, depending on the size. Down here, I mean, all is just still like big band, 100 players and 120 and 75. Down here, our biggest band for Panama is 40 players. Okay, not even state, not even a regular state side. So it's very very different, and whatnot. And sometimes when you're being rushed, they're like, yo, let's go thing and thing. It's like sometimes like the band ain't set up right, and it could make or break you, and whatnot. So I always say, like, listen, whatever time you need to take, how much time you need to take to make sure your band is perfect and set up right, good thing, listen, take it. But of course, you don't want to get penalized. I figured out a solution. I figured out a solution, at least for down here, is just make sure, as a leader, you communicate to your players, hey, listen, Olia, this is the setup. This is it. You are next to this person, you are next to this person. Hey, that's your partner D. So that everybody understands, all right, okay. So I know exactly who I'm supposed to be. I know exactly who I'm supposed to be next to. Everybody is in the same focus. So that way, when we get there, 1, 2, 3, and boom. And that way when they do start to mic, they mic it better. So they're not being all stressed out and waiting for us, and then we're all stressed out because we're not set up right. So that's the thing there.
A question for Andre and Spencer. Do you guys know who the judges are before you guys start, or is it just you guys have no idea? No.
No. Unfortunately, we should.
For me, 9 times out of 10.
I mean, I know who the judges are here.
Most of the time, I would know who's the judges.
Yeah. Yeah, we know who the judges are.
Yeah.
But just to clarify, so our set time is 8 minutes. And yeah, them penalizations.
Serious way.
Is coming. That is coming heavy and strong. Again, if you're not a networking person, it will hit you right where you don't want it to hit. But if you are, you might get a you might get a little
2 minutes.
I'm gonna say too much. I'm gonna say too much because it might be market money. But yeah, I mean, it's good to have a visa face. For Panorama, visa face helps you a lot with everything. But yeah, those damn penalizations is coming hot and heavy. If you don't know what you're doing, but a properly functioning band at the end of the day, you have conversations about setup. Like setup don't just happen. Even the band that may take the longest, assuming that they are properly functioning band, no matter how small or big your band is, there's a lot of work that goes into preparation and mapping. It starts from the basic orchestration of your band if you're involved in it. If you know how many instruments you want per section and all of that, now you're already mapping out, what's the layout of my band, this, that, and the other. Bands set up in their yard the way they want to set up on stage and that kind of thing. The instruments move the way it's supposed to set up on stage from the time they leave, wherever they are. For bands in town that push their pans moving in the order that it's supposed to. From bands that coming in of the truck, they try to get their pans as best as possible in the way it's supposed to set up. So as soon as it gets off trucks, it's setting up the way it's supposed to go on stage, etc., etc. So this is not, you're not new to this. And unless you're a first-time player, you're very well aware of of these type of
Right.
things, it's very possible to get a band, even the biggest one on stage, if you know what you're doing.
Right.
And I'll give an example of like a smaller setting, not Panorama, that this happened. Was doing a show in Napa. We had a showcase or whatever. They decided to put the entire music faculty, which is huge, in one show. That's supposed to be 3 hours. Crazy. Everybody have multiple pieces. Our steel band is the biggest faculty, 60 something players, and they give us 90 seconds to set up.
A what?
90 seconds? What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It's like, listen, take it or leave it, that's what we got. Show is a tight show, this is what it is.
Wow.
And we practice, there are no racks in here. Everybody have stands and pans and bases, the whole shebang. Gotta practice that. And I mean, our studio was fairly big enough, but we had to practice like in and out in our space, find it so everybody know where your spot is. These things are possible, but the limitations on that is we're in a confined space, we're in a structured space where we get to, everybody knows everybody to kind of get to figure out how to make it work. But when you're in a community setting, that's not necessarily possible. However, it's possible to have those discussions beforehand. Whether you're a long-time player or first-time player. So if you have structure and organization in your band, these things are possible. If you're not having those conversations with your players, then you make it more difficult on yourself to get penalized. Now, things happen on the day.
Yeah.
And if you're not organized, if you don't know what you're doing, then add that to the endless gamut of things that can happen on the day. You're just making things very stressful for yourself. So I would suggest people do a nice little map. Listen, sometimes in the Panya, you see people pen and paper, you would swear to do a test because we try to map out this band, trying to make sure everything is in order. These things are possible. You just have to put in your work.
Yeah. There's a couple questions or comments that came up. Desi said that I should see if I can get a judge to join the live. I don't know if they want to show their face, but
Who said that?
Desi. If you guys know any judges that would want to show their face on the live, send them my way. Music Man said, stepping back to what was mentioned regarding the mics, are bands amplified through the front of the house or the mics for streaming purposes, and what would be your preference?
I think these days is both, right? Both streaming and for the front of the house. For live purposes, live purposes and streaming. But I think streaming just catch audio from the board though, for the most part. I mean, that's how I know it to be. I could be wrong.
Yeah, and sometimes it's separate because, at least here we have multiple people streaming. So sometimes the entities are separate, connected, or whatever. It's not always one and the same. On the concept of streaming, I think, not 8 panoramas outside of Trinidad needs to do a lot better at streaming. Shout out to Antigua. I think that's the only country this year
that had
rock. They rock both the streaming and commentary. I love every part of it. Everybody else, y'all need to do way better.
I can't remember. I don't know whose panorama it was, but I was watching it, and the people commenting, the commentators, had no idea what they were talking about. I can't remember what part of it
was.
I wasn't able to at least to the last 2, which was New York and I think London, because we had heavy events happening here on this exact same night. Festival and Pan on the Avenue. So those are heavy events here, so I wasn't able to tune in. But I think the last band I tuned into, I think Dre all on stage. I couldn't hear anything, but I just kind of saw that you guys were on stage. When I got a second, the audio was really low, but the video was better, I guess. Yeah, I think the video was much better than it has been in the past. I didn't get to check out London at all. But Yeah, y'all need to do way better with the streaming thing because, bruh,
Hey,
it's
listen.
terrible.
Listen, speaking of streaming, Tisha, I know you're still on here. I have to say big ups to you, okay?
Yes.
Big ups to you, Tisha,
Yeah, I
because
applaud.
okay, every
Appreciate you.
panorama this woman goes to, she makes sure she makes sure you have a good spot where you can hear everything nice. So Tisha, if you're still in here, big ups to you because she's saving panorama streams right
Yeah,
now.
listen, if we need to hire one independent person to make sure that they have 10 hours of battery life and service,
Mhm.
let's do that.
Mhm.
Tisha,
I don't know. Like
Tisha.
everybody in this chat put up. I think let's pay for that because I think that might be much better than whatever it is happening out there sometimes.
I just want Tisha to share her frequent flyer miles with me. That's what I want.
Right?
That
She's
that woman
everywhere.
has be all over the place, yo.
Yeah.
Everywhere. I want your link up.
I mean, I get that. What she's saying. Sorry,
Mm-mm.
the infrastructure doesn't always support streaming because of reception, but yeah. I mean, listen, we're in a world of technology. There's a lot of things you can do to add on. It's not perfect, but it's about just getting improvement every year. We can't just say because I knew a lot of these organizations have said outright they can't afford it because I'm pretty sure some of them in the past may have reached out to our UTT crew here to do it, but they're not willing to pay for it
Right.
because they're more than willing, I guarantee, with a proposal to come and do all of the not necessarily not just streaming but recording. But people aren't willing to pay for it. But I'm like, why if the infrastructure can't support it? Tell me why ABs get better streams from people's random phones.
That's a good
That
question.
part.
That's a
Desi has a comment. It would be wonderful if TTT and WAC can team up. WAC's audio is always on point, and TTT's camera is always on point. So they just need to.
Oh boy, here go Chris. Here go. Oh
No,
no, here
say
go
it.
Chris.
Get
Here
off your
she
chest.
go.
Say it for chest. Say it.
It's a great idea. It's a great idea.
But yeah, that's exactly.
No?
It's a great idea. That's all I'm gonna say.
Oh man.
Ricardo said all things count on the road, Panorama live stream edition. If I was rich, I would do that.
I'm saying, like, listen, let's find an independent organization and put out some proposals, make that money.
Facts.
Because I totally would. I would be at every Panorama.
But yeah, I think I mean, all kicks aside, I do think at the end of the day, it's important, not just for documentation and prosperity purposes. This is one of the only ways that a lot of players and other get really to experience and be inspired by what's happening in other spaces. You know, there are some people that will never be able to make it to another country's panorama or carnival season. And these are some of the ways that they're really inspired to continue in their community
Yeah.
and continue doing things where they're at. So having the basics of, you know, something as simple as streaming and proper audio and pictures it's really good on a wider scale just for individuals to check out.
I agree.
You know, bands be having whole viewing parties and stuff. So if we look at it from an individualistic component and not just all the macro of the documentation and stuff, it's important for the other persons to see what's happening elsewhere.
Yeah. Andre and Spencer and Kris, maybe you can chime in. If there's one thing in Panorama you can change or add to, what would it be?
You all want to go first?
You said one thing?
Oh,
that's a loaded
question.
That's not that because there's so many answers, but that's a loaded question.
I mean, I definitely
I mean,
think I think we touched on one a little earlier, which would
Yeah.
be
we
the
did.
score sheet and the criteria,
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
and what the judges are judging. I think that would be the most crucial one, because I think if the arrangers could feel more safe, and that's what I'm saying, feel more safe in trying new
Mm-hmm.
things. I think
Mm-hmm.
that the level of musicianship and the level of the music would reach to a higher height. I think we've gotten to this point where we're all just trying to, I don't even want to use the word win, but we're all trying to tick the boxes now, you
Right.
know?
Mm.
So
Yeah.
much to a point where, a lot of us are not really, you know, stepping out or as far as we possibly could. I mean, I'm not excluding myself. Those who may know my past or my repertoire within Panama knows I've taken my fair share chances. You know what I mean? And I still do on occasions, but I think I figured out a better balance of spoon feeding the ones that 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 need to be fed a little slower than yours.
Mm.
You know.
Mm-hmm.
But I think if we could get to a place where the criteria of Panama is more decisive, and the judges know exactly what they're supposed to be judging, which would be not to be subjective about the music, but more about the execution of the performance and the piece. Something like how festival is, because like if you think about the tuna choice of festival, that is what it is. You're not really
Mm-hmm.
judging the music, you're judging the execution of the piece, because everybody playing the same thing. Now we're here, you're not playing the same thing, but you should be judging it the same way. Well, who executed and who painted the picture the best?
Mm.
Who brought
Right.
that picture to life the
And
best?
I would add a little bit of accuracy to that because the difference with festival and the Pino choice is the presented score.
Right.
So you have to play to a
Right.
measure of accuracy. Um, so what's on
Mm-hmm.
paper. So if you were to add an element of that like to panorama, then you would have to add that measure of accuracy to what's written, if that
Right.
makes sense.
I mean,
Right.
and most arrangers these days have reverted to scoring their music for Panama anyway. Majority. I mean, very
Right.
few. Maybe the more senior arrangers probably still don't really score their music, but
Well, you're doing that for your own purposes, not for the competition.
yeah. But
You know.
I mean, if we're talking about what we would change, right? So if we were to add that component, it wouldn't be so much of a stretch. That's what I'm saying. It's possible. It's not impossible.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because those elements pretty much already exist
Mm.
for the most part.
Yeah.
Okay. So do you think it'd be easier for the arrangers if the scoring was consistent throughout all the panoramas?
Say that one more time. If the scoring in terms of what the judges
The
scoring,
judging scoring, yeah, like the criteria. Do you think it would be easier for you as arrangers if it was consistent throughout?
easier. I don't is easier in what sense? Like being more comfortable
Yeah.
to explore more.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely think so.
Mm.
I definitely believe so. I think arrangers would feel more confident. I feel they would feel more safe to just present the music that comes natural to them, and not necessarily try to, well, I know how to do this and I know how to come with this because this one come with that, and like
Mhm.
it's more of a game now than anything else. It's a lot of
Mm.
Yeah.
strategy being played.
There was a comment that we that came up 2 weeks ago as because there was a thing where every panorama there was like 5 bands playing Inventor, 5 bands playing DNA, 2 bands playing How You Living, whatever. Do you think every panorama should have a theme? So like 2025, it'd be just like Calypso from 1995.
That's a stretch.
No. I
No?
say no.
That's a
Okay.
stretch. If you want to
I
do
say
something like that,
no, and again, I'm saying no as somebody from Trinidad. We have other things for that. So, no.
that's what I was gonna say. If you go do
Yeah.
something like that, that should be something designated to like a certain event
Mhm.
or a different pan event, or even you can do kind of like how you have pan down memory lane. like the choices of tunes you have there. If you were to do a competition where that's like a themed competition, to where it's like, hey, you can only choose from the decade of 870 to 80 or 80 to 90 or blah blah or blah blah blah. If you did a separate like pan competition like that, I don't see any any problem with that. But but for a panorama, nah.
Okay.
It should, when it comes to song choice, hey, it's
Do what you feel.
whatever. Do what you do.
No, I think one of the things that we can, and I know you're saying having a theme, but that doesn't exclude what's happening in current music.
Correct.
Is that correct?
Correct.
I mean, it's not a bad idea, but that's why I said, because we have other things for that, it may work really well in other places. Just for people that may be limited in, or they're not a fan of what's currently out. If you wanna say, oh yeah, you have this caveat, go back in this decade or whatever to choose music. But we have other things for that.
Like it.
Okay. Desi has a question. Sorry, this is rude. It has some bands that does shine in the festival element, but gets buried in panorama. Is it because they know? It's because how bands are adjudicated.
Huh?
So some bands shine in like the festival part, but when they come to panorama and play, I don't know, the same song, they get buried. Like they come like fifth or sixth. Is it because of how the bands are adjudicated?
Yeah, panorama is just chaotic.
We all know that.
you get lost in the sauce real quick. But festival, it's more structured. It's a lot more minute. You're definitely seen, so, and not as many bands enter and that sort of thing. So you do get your time to shine. So that's what I say, in comparison to Panama, you could kind of get lost in the sauce, whereas like 50 something other bands versus in festival, just maybe 10 or 12 other bands. You can find a way to, take your 15 minutes of fame in that kind of sense and utilize it well.
Right. Tisha said,
and then
no, go ahead.
Yeah, and then I was going to say the structure of music in festival. There are some bands that are just much better in terms of the festival classical style of music because of maybe what's happening in house, so they can really present that a lot better than whatever the panorama formula is. It's a bit more open and chaotic. Festival, you have a nice little box to play in, and
stay in the box.
You can dance and.
Tisha said, some other islands play their music only. Do you think that should be implemented for TNT?
Like as in like for Panorama and TNT, they can only play songs from Trinidad artists.
Yeah.
I mean, for the most part, we do.
For the most
part.
I think, yeah. I think it was only 1 year.
That should be implemented other places because sometimes I'll be fed up of hearing the same thing over and over. But for the most part, we do. I love the islands that choose to do that. For their ecosystem, it does really well. It gives their music a time to really shine, get an opportunity to shine some light on the artists that are there locally. And you have to pay attention and listen. Like it's not like, oh, I've been singing DNA forever and all you listen is, or you just want to hear the DNA part of it. You just want to hear the chorus. So you don't actually pay attention to the music that's being arranged. You're
right.
If you understand what I'm saying, it's like when something is familiar, it just kind of floats over your head, and you just kind of you're enjoying it on a positive level. Versus other islands you have to like actively listen and pay attention because you're not as familiar with the music, and you get to really see the arrangers themselves shine in the music. It's not saying, of course, you can't do the same elsewhere. Fair disclaimer.
Mm.
I just think with those islands, because you're not familiar, you actually have to like really soak it
I
in.
mean,
Right.
when I started to watch other islands, panoramas like Grenada, Saint Lucia, Antigua, and whatnot. I mean, that I had to have that mindset. I'm like, yo, I have no idea what this song is, but that's when I had to go back and really listen to these tunes, like really listen to it, and then when you expose yourselves to like not to other soca music, it really does help you to appreciate what other islands are doing for pan and their own panorama. So I think from what I remember, I think the only time in Trinidad where like the big bands like played a soca song that was sung by a non-Trini artist was, I think, Good Morning and Wrong Again in the past couple of years. But I think all the other years before COVID, all the years after COVID, it was all Trini artists.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I find that we'll actually have to like go through and like sift through and that
Yeah.
kind of thing. But I think for the most
It's
part,
been, yeah.
it's mostly local.
Yeah.
I mean,
And even if it's somebody that's foreign, it's probably in collaboration with a local artist.
so,
Kind of.
I mean, what about Sparrow? Because Sparrow was actually born in Grenada, but is he just adopted as a Trinidadian?
I would not have you with the Sparrow slander. Sparrows are shitty.
Okay, and there's my question. There's
There
my
you go.
answer. All right, cool.
There you go. I remember.
Sparrows are shitty, and I would give a solid plug. Like I was so happy that when we worked with Sparrow last year. Amazing. I love that for him. I love Sparrow. We share a birthday, so we had a whole moment.
I keep going back to our last conversation because there's a lot of points that were made, and I think they need to be brought up since we have people on here.
Okay.
Jimmy mentioned, like at NASCAR, wherever you go, your points get added up to the end. For Panorama, do you think that should happen as well? Whereas like prelims, semis, your points just keep getting added up, and then the final, that is your score.
So pretty much like you take all like all these scores from each of those three and tally it up at the end.
Yeah.
I'm assuming we're exclusively talking about Trinidad.
I mean, yeah, because
those categories.
Much, yeah.
We ain't got prelims over here. We just have one night.
You think that would work?
It's something to be considered. I have to give that a little bit more thought. It's not a terrible idea. However, because of so then we would only be talking basically about bands that make it to finals because
It's true, because some bands don't make it to finals for prelims.
Yeah, you can get eliminated at preliminaries. You can make it to semis, so then you only have scores from. There's a lot of potential loopholes in there that would need to be ironed out, so that would need to be given a lot more thought. Just on like what exactly is the end goal of that? So, does the end goal justify whatever variables would need to happen in that because of the multiple categories and all of those things?
Sure.
Yeah, that would need to be just thought about a little bit more.
Yeah. If that happened, how would you feel
It's not
about
a
it?
terrible to
So what did you say?
Andre, okay then?
You was asking me a question.
Yeah. So say if all the points were added up to like the final score, how would you feel about that? So like semis, prelims, semis, finals, all those.
I think I agree with Kris at what would be what's the end result? Like, what's the purpose of it?
Um, I would probably just to say, okay, we got this score in prelims. Let's see if we can do better in the finals. So all your scores are getting added up. So say you scored like a 230 in the semis and then a 280 in the prelim or whatever prelims semis, and then you got 389 in the finals. All those scores are added up for your final score.
Mm-hmm.
So all those three scores are added up. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but
Well,
go ahead.
go ahead. Well, I was gonna say we already have a disparity in judging preliminaries, semis, and finals. So we already encountered our first issue there already. Judging does not happen the same way in prelims that happens the same in semis and finals. So to even begin to say, oh yeah, we're gonna implement this thing, we need to have consistency in judging or through each round of competition.
Yeah.
And it's very much a sore point for a lot of people here because you have protections in semis and finals that you don't have in preliminaries. It's not the same. It's not the same balanced playing field. Even with all the variables, it's different from preliminaries to semis.
There's
to
also
finals.
different judges for the
and
semis
that
and the
also
finals.
varies. And that also varies per category. So
That's a lot.
whereas large bands, I mean, the Panya thing, that is its own issue. But then, whereas large bands go to the same place for semis and finals, the other categories don't. So there's just a lot of variables there. That what's the end? So that's why I asked, what's the end goal? If you know what the end goal is, maybe it's worth having the conversation. But there's so many variables there to determine.
Yeah.
If it even makes sense.
That makes sense. Makes sense. Interesting conversation, though. We have been here for 2 hours.
The question that was asked earlier about the change one thing in the competition. So I would go from the non-musical perspective. I would leave that to the lovely arrangers to talk all about the music. I love that field. I would look at it from panorama is very inequitable. It doesn't matter how many rules you put under the sun. From a band perspective, it's very inequitable. If I could change that, I would. And ask for one, but I give it two because to me they're both on the same playing field. And the other one would be how we market the technically the instrument through the competition, through streaming and all of those things. They're kind of combined. I think those are two things. If I had to make a change outside of the musical realm of the competition, I would do more.
Okay. I like that.
I have a question.
I see you thinking, Spencer.
I do have in regards to, I guess, point that yet, like the point system and who wins or who loses. Should the crowd's favorite or people's choice, should that matter in the effect on who wins or who loses? Should I count towards any kind of points to the bands? I'm just wondering. What do I think about that? Oh God! I got the one's answer. This man said no.
No.
Because you don't.
I agree.
He said popularity contest. If there's no, that's too much of a popularity vote.
Yeah, that's why I asked it. You know, them people love to judge in the crowd, you know.
Mm-hmm.
No, again, it's all about it being equitable, right? There are a lot of times bands don't even, honestly, bands here don't really pay attention to that. And it can easily, again, it's a popularity thing. So unless we find a way to streamline that in an equitable way where it's judged, I don't know. I'm just saying off the top of my head. My answer is no, by the way. I just say it. I love exploring an idea just because why not?
That's what we're here for.
But judging a popularity vote, the results tend to sometimes come after the fact. If I can purchase vote, then I would.
Mm-hmm.
Why not? Because I can do it. But another band may not be able to. And let's say, okay, it's not rigged like that.
Mm-hmm.
My band has 50,000 supporters, and they will do almost anything I tell them to do. I will utilize that to my ability, So unless we can find a way to make things equitable for everybody, it doesn't make sense to add it to the competition itself. Now, I do think having that is good in general to include the public and have them be a part of the ED night and that sort of thing. Cool. I have no issue with having a popularity vote situation. But in the past, plenty bands don't even know that's a thing. People forget about that. Nobody in here, nobody telling the supporters, oh, hey, vote for us. This is the number. Nobody knows that. So guess what? That's my focus. I have on blinders. All I studying is from the pioneer on stage, get off, make sure you do your best, and that's that. Ain't nobody studying about text no number to nothing. That's not even the first, second, or third thing on your mind. And the only time people realize that that's a thing is when results call in and they say, oh yeah, this was the most popular band. Like, huh, okay,
Right.
whatever. So unless we could find one of those game show setups where we have a whole software system set up for that, everybody punching the band on the night in this moment, we tally it one time and it's sending them. Yeah, if we can do that, don't waste it. Let's not
Makes sense.
Yeah. Interesting. Well, we've been on for 2 hours.
Yeah, I was just coming to say that's my cue.
Yeah. I didn't mean to keep you so long that day, but I appreciate you.
No problem, no problem. Thank you guys for having me on. I'll see you guys soon. Yeah.
We will.
Safe. Chris, take it easy, right? Spencer, nice to meet you, bro.
Andre, take care.
Andre, my number is still the same way. I am
talk. You know, that
presently
but you'll see me soon.
I am present, sir. My system is already, my calendar is already looking booked and busy, so.
You will see me sooner than you think.
All
Yeah.
right. Okay.
Right?
Andre, if I hear from Kris that she didn't see you yet, we're going to talk, eh?
No, she's going to see me soon. Very soon. Very soon. Right? You'll be safe.
You too,
Blessings, right?
Have a good
All
night.
the best.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
Blessings.
Jimmy, yes. Jimmy and this Republic Day.
Oh, God.
Jimmy,
Listen.
that's fast approaching,
Yeah, while Republic Day is approaching, my bed time is approaching too. So I go on because listen, oof, my eyes heavy, my eyes heavy like metal. Okay.
It's all good.
Everybody.
We're coming up anyway. Have a good night.
Wait, why you not doing that? I now catch myself. Why you not doing that, Panyard?
Hello.
All right, go ahead. Bye.
Panyard's right there. Panyard is right there.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. I will be setting my calendar to tune in, assuming that we get a good stream. I will be tuning in.
Yes. Miami is funny. I don't know. But if I find out that we are streaming, I will send you all the link. More than likely, Danielle, you go find out before me. And Jimmy, I will send you the music. All right, I have your number. Oh yeah. I totally forgot to send the music. Don't worry, I got you. Anybody who's coming to Miami?
Tisha, if you're going to Miami, please stream it? Thank you.
Yes. No. Oh gosh.
Do one other question.
You want ask quick? Ask quick.
Let me go. Yeah.
Ask quick.
Oh, yeah.
Ask quick.
So we're just gonna stay here. We're just gonna stay here and watch them type.
For a bit. When can I hear the band music, Spencer?
Oh boy, you can hear the band music.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
Probably honestly the week of Panorama, because like I've told you before, it's hard to find people
Gotcha.
right now. Still like it's I don't even have all these sections like filled up. I'm still waiting for people to come in.
Okay. So for those that are watching, for going to Miami, contact Spencer who's looking for players.
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome.
You reach me on my Instagram right there, TriniSteel _ exclusive, and not. I'll give you all the details.
Mm-hmm.
But and don't worry, and Kris, don't worry. I'll send you the arrangement and thing just now.
Okay. Cool. Devon said next time, and Power.
Do. Next time, hire my band will come.
Judah, Panorama is October the 11th, the Friday.
What time does it usually start? What time is it supposed to start?
We're supposed to start at 7 p.m.
So 9.
No. We should be starting 7:30.
They usually start
7:30
on time-ish.
On time-ish a little, because we had the park for a certain time, so we have to be out there at a certain time.
Okay.
So it's 7 p.m. So around 7:30. So
okay, all right.
Who is the featured band this year?
The feature. Good. I don't know. I do not.
I didn't see any promotion for it. So.
Yeah. Look, once I find all that, I go that I should know that in the next 2 weeks, and whatnot. Tisha, is there a drag for Miami? Yes, we do have, because it is held in a cricket stadium, so we do have like a makeshift drag where all the bands get there and they have the bands all set up in different locations and whatnot. So there's a drag and whatnot, but because of how security is and they're real anal, you won't be able to cross the barrier to carry the band on the drag and whatnot. So
what I'm hearing is that you need to get Tisha some kind of lanyard.
I need to get Tisha a shirt.
There you go.
I need to get shirts.
Okay.
So Tisha, Tisha, let me know your reach. Okay, let me know your reach, and I'll have a shirt for you and all kind of thing.
So I know I asked about the featured band, but some people may not know, so you maybe want to tell them what that is. So kind of letting it out the bag there, because they were there last year.
Okay. Well, in Miami, we always have a featured band every single year, and they do usually play at the after after the whole competition done, and we waited for the results. Okay. So I believe All Stars was there last year.
No, I was saying All Stars.
Hellsgate was there last year.
It was Hellsgate. I think All Stars was the year before.
All Stars have played a couple of times. I think
a couple of times. Well, Brad,
I'm trying to figure out how do I get my band on that stage? Like, what's going on?
Well, like I tell you, that's you have to talk with the Miami Broad One committee and all kind of things, because they organize all that. Mm-hmm. So, and my boy Brandon Gonzalez just reached blessings, bro. So he's saying that All Stars is gonna be the featured band again this year, which is great for me because that's my band. So everybody knows. That's my band.
Someone asked earlier if this is a weekly live. It used to be. but I'm going to do this every 2 weeks and just have an open discussion because there's a lot of things that we need to talk about and get up there. So
Every time.
every time, yeah.
We have. I think that was Tony. Yeah, that was Tony.
Okay.
We have great conversations on here, Tony. You should join in. Tony insists that next year is going to be his last year. Every year is next.
One of those.
Oh boy. Wait. She will come back this now. She will come back this year.
Yeah, sorry about
Okay.
Yeah, I was saying Tony's he's been playing Pan for forever now. And every year is his last year, so hopefully that's not the case.
He'll be there for another
2025 is going to be a great year. Just waiting for Miami to be respectful, for Miami to be over, and then we full 25 mode.
Yes. I love it. Pan never stop. I love it.
Nothing. Listen, full swing. Things are happening. I don't wait until Panama to do nothing in Panama, but things are happening. So I just make a solid plug, Jimmy. I can't wait to see you. Come and look for me. I don't see people. I'll be very honest. I don't see people. So if you see me, please come and say something because
Pull on
I don't see people.
Noted.
Literally, come and say something. I have that type of face where I don't be outside smiling and things. So don't let that face here. Just feel free to come and say hi. When I work in, I don't see nothing.
So can we bring you food
and
or
anybody
alcohol?
else is here? Say that again.
Can we bring you food or alcohol when we see you?
I'm not drinking alcohol right now, so food is always a must.
Just so people know.
But yeah, I mean, on that note, yeah, Invaders Republic did Juve. This year's Invasion of the Pirates. It's gonna be great.
Wow.
They're doing really well and preparing everything, and this is the last week of them getting things together. They're trying to really take really good care of the bands so that the bands can do their thing, which the crowd usually likes. So the numbers for that is amazing. Every year it's been doing more and more. Like you would never think that during the year something like this could really make outside of what's now popular party culture. But yeah, the streets be packed, jam packed. So I'm really looking forward to seeing this year, and this year is 10 years. So y'all go follow Invaders. I'm gonna make a nice little plug. That's my old band, so love them still. That's where my roots are.
Okay.
And yeah. So this year will be a great year. Go follow their page. You can get all of the updated information from any of the bands that's performing. I think they recently put out something showing the different bands that will be performing, and then the featured bands of course that will be on there.
Yeah.
Love that.
They have a nice after party. After party be lit. Party until midday. After Pan on the Road and Juve, they have a nice after party.
I love it.
Yeah.
So
You can't beat that.
It's a great event. $50 entry. Can't go wrong with that.
There you go.
So
That's my plug for the
All
night.
right. All right, guys.
When Miami done, I'll make him a plug to Panorama.
Okay, not next, the week after.
Yeah, so a good 2 weeks. But if you're talking about Trini Panorama and you're not sure what you want to do, give a girl a call, send me a message, my DMs.
There you go. Follow everyone in the chat, guys. Follow each other. Let's network. Let's communicate.
Yes. Yes, please do. And we will follow you back.
Yes.
Okay, we will. Okay.
We will.
But Spencer, up to now, you didn't tell the people the name of your band, so they don't know who they come in and play for.
No. This is why I love Kris. All right, she keeps me comfortable. So yes, everybody. So this year, I'm arranging for Resurrection Steel Orchestra. So and like I said before, right now, please forgive me. I've been trying to get our page back. Still still having a hard time getting that page back. But if you are interested, like I said, you can follow me at TriniSteel _exclusive, and I can get you all the details and everything. Yes, now do we have pants? Yes, we have pants. We do have pants, plenty. So come on, come out and play. What song? I ain't gonna tell you that yet. If you DM it, I'm gonna let you know.
There you go.
But I will say this. Well, Danny, you can say nothing. I will say this. My tune is not from this year. That's all I will say. That's all I will say. You can go ahead and guess all you want. So yeah, that is the details there. And anything else I need to add, Kris, or no?
Well, I mean,
That is it?
that's it. You gotta plug your band and you want players, so you gotta use the opportunity, get them inside. If you're going to Miami, guys, go support Spencer and Resurrection Steel. Spencer, I will do the free one. I will charge you every time after this. Go ahead.
Oh man.
Make sure you tell him how
And
much the fee is so he can save that money.
and if you're free to message Spencer, you can message myself, you can message Danielle, we'll put you in touch, get all the information you need. And yeah, go to Miami. If I didn't have some things going, I would come to Miami. I can't really last time I play a pawn, so don't ask me to play nothing. I can't help
Casey's asking
but everything else, I
Casey's
can help you with.
asking if flight and accommodation is included.
Yes, yeah, like I said, all them details, Casey, just send me DM now. Send me DM. All I need is send me DM.
Listen, it's Con. You gotta roll out the red carpet. You gotta roll out two red carpets for Con.
And a private jet.
Not just one. Two red carpets, because you will get your money's worth. So roll out two red carpets.
Private jet.
Make sure you have a welcome basket.
Star hotel.
Private jet if you can go, you know? At best, maybe but first business class. You'll get every ounce of your money's worth.
Red cap.
Just saying, listen. If you let me get a quick little tip, right? Because of this little circle that you're in here, if you figure out the funding, you will listen, the band that will come and support you, top class, top tier.
There you go.
Listen, I know all of these people, humble guys, they just come in, they just want, treat them like the bosses that they are. So make sure and figure out the funding and look at Plan there, you have Jimmy there. We just had Dre there. They come in and they behind their plan like regular players doing the thing. Yeah. Regular folks. So.
Danny, you see what happened here? See what Kris give me ideas now, boy.
I'm just saying.
See how quiet I am?
I'm just saying.
You see what?
I'm here sipping my water, minding my business.
You'll be getting your money's worth. So I promise you, just roll out the. I say go the extra mile. See, look, Jimmy done say we coming. Figure it out.
All right, so I feel like a WhatsApp group is going to be starting real quick.
Yeah. Oh boy, Jesus, give me strength.
I'll try and save you. So thank you for tuning in, everyone.
Yeah, it's
been a pleasure.
My hair don't turn gray already. It just did.
Okay.
But Jimmy,
thanks for tuning in.
Use your resources wisely.
Good point.
So, whoever asked about networking earlier, case in point.
Yep. Okay. I go on.
Yes.
I don't know.
Have a good night, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. I will see you in 2 weeks again for another open discussion. If you want to join in, message me early so I know what I'm dealing with. Have a good night. Look at my podcast 2 weeks ago. It was another great one. Tisha, good night. Gabby, you just joined. Good night. And everyone, enjoy the rest of your week. Bye.
Good night, all. Yeah.
Bye.